Hello. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning, 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 top of the morning. Watching any football today? No. Some happy crows, man. These crows are having a blast. Somebody told me that little noise they make is called a gronk. That little... And it means they're happy. I've been hearing a lot of that noise. I must have said something mean. Well, I've noticed you say 15 a lot. Do I? Like in what way? He asked you 15 times. Oh, okay. Like when I'm just pulling a number out of my ass, 15 is the one I go to. Interesting. I never knew that about myself. Swear to God, I asked this guy 15 fucking times. Yeah. When you just need to like pull a fucking random number that indicates that you've done something a lot. Yeah. Oh, maybe I just like 15. Maybe I like that number. I've never noticed that about myself. It's an interesting observation. I said it to Brett a lot of times back in the day. There you go. The little things you notice. Yeah, maybe it's my lucky number. Hear them? Happy crows. Crows in love. Tip top of the morning. What a day. What a day, what a day. What would your advice be on finding the right therapist? I don't have any. I'm sorry to not be able to help you there, but like, I don't know any other way to say that you've just got to try until you find somebody you connect with. Find somebody that's right for you. And, you know, I remember when I settled on a therapist, I felt distinctly that this person could help me. And I had felt before that likely others couldn't. So I don't know. I don't know how to explain that to you. Did he have a beard and glasses? He had a mustache. He had a mustache and no glasses. A mustachioed gent. A mustache. Are you a crow? Please don't be a dum-dum in my chat today. If you're gonna chat, don't be a dum-dum. Turn the IQ dial on the side of your head up to like from the normal 60 that you idle at, turn it up to at least like 85 or something. Heard a lot of things from a lot of people. People don't like crows. I happen to like crows. No, look, they got the freedoms. They got the freedoms. I've heard a lot of things about people saying that they don't like crows. I personally like crows. No. It's okay. You got your freedoms. You got your freedoms. If I heard anything from Captain Tree, the last I heard of Captain Tree, I tuned into a stream Captain Tree was doing on Twitch. Very rare that he pops up when I'm, on. And so I watched his stream, and he was basically just kind of playing a little game, but he was talking about his plans, and his plans were to move to Africa. So Captain Tree wanted to move, I can't remember which country it was that he wanted to move to. But he wanted to move to Africa and use local talent to make a video game there. He wanted to like save up money, go there, employ local musicians and local voice talent, and make a video game. And that's I haven't heard anything from Captain Tree since. So he might have gone to Africa and discovered something else to do. Or he might have never gone to Africa. I don't know. That's the last I heard of Captain Tree, though. He's got his freedoms. Deus Vault. Deus Vault, dude? What? Say what? Thanks for all you do, Paul. Well, thank you for all you do. You rancid, disgusting, stinky ass fucking bunny. What a cacophony. Where's that from? Well, it was a battle cry during the Crusades, and it was also used by Chris Anderson, aka Fake Sagan, at the end of his self-ponage video that he made to try and own me. Open season on you atheist pieces of shit. Deus Vault, bitch. Deus Vault, bitches. It's open season on all you atheist pieces of shit. Deus Vault. Deus Vault. Do you think a Sopranos movie would have worked? They're making one, bro. There's one coming out like at the very beginning of next month. It's going to be a good movie. It's not necessarily a Sopranos. Well, it is a Sopranos movie. It's a prequel. I heard that Dune got an 8-minute standing O. Yeah, I've heard a lot of really good things about Dune. It premiered at the Venice Film Festival recently, and a lot of people were bowled over by it. So we'll see. You never know with the hype. The hype train is really high for this movie, and there's going to be a lot of people that no matter what they see, they're going to like convince themselves it was brilliant. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, the hype train for this film is in like full effect. But we'll see. I read one dude who saw it at the Venice Film Festival, and he said that it's only the second time in his life that he's had a religious experience watching a movie. And the other time was when he first saw 2001: A Space Odyssey. I was like, okay, I'm not reading any more of this shit. Let's be done with this. I knew it was going to be 2001. Well, you got to admit that 2001, especially if you put it in the context of the time, must have been a revelation for film goers. Like an absolute revelation. The special effects in 2001: A Space Odyssey, particularly the space-based effects, functionally changed the sci-fi genre. It taught people how to create space-based architecture with weight and heft, and how to shoot it, and how to, make it look absolutely fucking real. So, be asking me what up. You talk to Jason anymore? Yeah, Jason was in here the last time I did one of these. His ass still trolls around up in here. Favorite Nirvana song? I mean, it vacillates like a lot. Like that. I'm not a guy that has a really easy time with fucking favorites. When I really like something, like a band that has a ton of songs, but one of the ones that comes up all the time is Sliver, in my mind at least. So Sliver, Lounge Act, I really like. You Know You're Right was pretty good. I mean, like for a post-mortem release and all that shit. These crows, dude. Do 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 do. Bum bum bum. Man who sold the world, not stole. But yeah, the MTV Unplugged absolutely fucking like defined a genre. Like it's one of the definitive pieces of Nirvana's music, and it's just a recording of a live show. But hearing their songs stripped down and the covers and stuff that they chose to do. Another great cover that came out of that was Lake of Fire, which is a Meat Puppets song. The original is very monotone in comparison to Kurt's interpretation of it for MTV Unplugged. So the original Meat Puppets song is, it has the same riff. So it has the same chord progression. But the line that the Meat Puppets take through it is, where do bad folks go when they die? They don't go to heaven where the angels fly. They go to a lake of fire, fry. See 'em again till the 4th of July. And, Kurt, of course, added a lot of warble to it. They take a fairly straight tonal line through it, and he turned it into... where do bad folks go when they die? They don't go to heaven where the angels fly. Go to a lake of fire and fly. Meat Puppets version sucks. You're wrong, but that's okay. You're allowed to be wrong. Plateau is another Meat Puppets song. Many a hand has scaled the grand old face of the plateau. Some call them strangers, and some folks you know. Holy ghosts and talk show hosts are planted in the sand. Another Meat Puppets cover. Meat Puppets are amazing, by the way. If you're not into the Meat Puppets and you want to listen to an album to get you into the Meat Puppets, I recommend Up on the Sun. It's an 80s album. It's got a lot of my favorite songs on it. You Are My Daughter, Swimming Ground, just a lot of great songs. Just a lot of fantastic songs on that album. So Up on the Sun, the title track, is really good. I got to see the Meat Puppets live in a really intimate venue. It was really, really cool. Like a really small nightclub venue. And I was right up on the stage, so it was really neat. Probably the most intimate concert that I've gone to in terms of like a bigger named band. I saw them in 2000, I want to say 2007, 2008. So I might be a little wrong about that. It might have been a little later. It might have been like 2010. I'm bad with time. Yeah, the murder crows, they actually have been gone for a couple of days, so I'm assuming that this particular murder ranges pretty far. But definitely a stopover on their typical hunting trip or whatever. Me Puppets are playing in London next Thursday, but I can't make it. Really cool show, man. Yeah, they play pretty small, intimate venues, and they're a really great band. I just wouldn't heckle. Like, I wouldn't heckle, and I wouldn't ask them to play songs. They barrel through, and the dude, the lead singer, doesn't even respond to the crowd and shit when they yell shit at him. You can tell it like just annoys him, and he just pushes through whatever his set is. So just kick back and listen. Don't expect a fucking like interactive show where you get to call out a song for them to play. Yeah. That type of shit just isn't gonna. Of course I'm gonna watch Many Saints, yeah. Of course. If I leave here tomorrow, would you still remember me? Yeah, because it swings so much. You could pretend you know how to play the guitar. I wish more bands would just play it. When some drunk fuck yelled Freebird, I wish more bands would just launch into it. If I stay here with you, girl, would you stay? Okay. Add an extra 5 minutes to the solo, dude. Just do like a 35-minute solo. Just riff that for like fucking 30 minutes. I wonder if the crows like Freebird. Free crow. Maybe that's what they're calling for. Maybe they're just a bunch of hecklers that want Freebird. Why why does Scotty not live stream like ENTJ? You should probably ask him. I have no fucking clue. I'm guessing he's just not a person that enjoys this type of shit. I don't blame him. It's a frustrating thing to do sometimes, you know. Very mood dependent. Things just wouldn't be the same. Dude, I feel like Saruman sitting out here with this murder of crows, man. I feel like I have abandoned reason for madness. The enemy moves to strike a fatal blow. The fortresses of Orthanc and Barad-dûr are emptied. You know this? I have seen it. Bilbo Baggins. Gandalf. You haven't aged a day. I am a servant of the secret fire, wielder of the flame of Arnor. Your dark fire shall not avail you here, flame of Uldoon. Go back to the shadow. A full movie dub, dude. Yeah, I'm in a pretty good mood today. I've been having a rough time lately, man. I gotta tell you guys. Anxiety has been just like through the roof. There's a lot of shit going on, you know, like the guys having been displaced for the last week or two has been, you know, it's just stressful when you got a business. You know, it has nothing to do with them, that they can't do anything about it. So I'm not, you know, shit. It's just like, you know, eating into the bank that you have there as a cushion, knowing you got to put all that back, then all this shit with my landlord. You know, I've just been in a very bad headspace for the last 2 or 3 days. And I feel like yesterday, I kind of just reached a point where I was like, I got to let go of this, man. I got to let go of this. At least for a day. And I kind of went to bed with that on my mind. And I woke up in a good mood today. I really did. I came out here. There's a nice breeze blowing. I have been having to listen to the fart of humanity all day with this fucking idiot with his edger, his blower, whatever the fuck he's doing over there. Crows have been keeping me company out here. I feel pretty mellow. This dude has been weed eating for like, I don't know, a straight fucking hour. He's been just bearing down on that weed eater. So that's, the fart of humanity is never pleasant, but crows make up for it. I like sitting amongst that many wild animals and listening to them. Got your tickets for Dune. I don't even know what's going to happen with Dune. No, there's not a part of me that thinks that he does that to annoy me. He's over there trimming his ridiculous little look at my mini golf course manicured lawn, or having it trimmed by somebody. That has nothing to do with me. That's work that just gots to be done. Look at me, I've got a little patch of golf course in front of my McMansion. I mean, it is what it is, dude. I get through no matter what. But yeah, I feel better today than I have in the last week or so, which is nice. Heard Scotty's house took a lot of damage. They thought it had taken way more damage than previous, because the initial pictures that were sent while the storm was still kind of going on, and so the neighbor that sent them to them, they sent this picture of a tree that had just basically fallen over on the house, and so they imagined that it had probably broken through the roof or whatever, but it looks like a lot of the damage that was done to the roof was pretty superficial, and that most of Scotty's stuff, if not all of it, is fine. So that's good. I haven't heard from the guys, but I know that one of them was, I think they both were either supposed to head back yesterday or today. I don't think they'd made up their minds. But yeah, they're supposed to head back to their respective homes. They might be traveling right now. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, being displaced that long, just imagine that shit, dude. It's crazy. Especially for people that like run their own business, you know what I mean, and work from home. It's like, I doubt Scotty will be the one that clears out the down tree. The county will more than likely make its way around and do all of that. Yeah, Scotty lives in a neighborhood, so. In fact, as far as I heard, that the county already came and cut it into like chunks and shit to be hauled away. So the one that fell on the house, anyway. So I wouldn't suspect Scotty out there with a chainsaw, dude. I haven't done a whole lot of work with a chainsaw, but when I came here, there's one of these eucalyptus trees that are back here that's around the side of my house over here. And it had a big, giant, cracked limb that had fallen on another tree and was just hanging there. And I was like, man, fuck this. And so I rented a chainsaw and I cut up a bunch of the stuff there. Had my stepdad come over and help me, and that dude, that's fucking work. It's crazy. Chopping it down safely and then like chopping it into chunks and then bringing those chunks over and chopping it into usable stuff. You guys wait here. Whoa. Don't fall over. I'm gonna go get a drink. Oh, I need a drink. So you're just gonna have to share the yard with the crows. Get out there and poop. Go potty, D. They ain't gonna hurt you. Them crows don't want none of you. Just gonna keep that thought to myself. just got a gander of your booty when you turned around to sit down, and I was just like, man, such a bonus. I love being me. Hello, D. You want to come up here and say hi to everybody? Oh, yes. Yes, look who it is. It's Captain Dinor. Dun, 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 dun. Who's the man with the master plan? It's Dinor. Where are you going to go? What's the plan? What you want?
You want to get your ball?
Where's your rope? Get the rope. Why you never bring the rope? Where's your bow? It's right out there. I see it. Go get your bow. There's probably 2 or 3. Oh, D. I had a really good dream last night, but I don't remember what it was, of course. But I just remember waking up feeling like, damn, yeah. It's usually when I wake up, because like the first thing I have to do when I wake up is usually take a big pee. And it's usually like right midstream that my mind goes like, man, that was a good dream. What was that dream? And it's just gone. That's so frustrating. So I feel like right before I took the pee, I knew exactly what I was dreaming. But peeing, it brought me back into reality.
We did watch a very dreamy fucking episode yesterday.
That's true. Twin Peaks: The Return is doubling down on the weird every episode. Yeah. Every episode is weirder and more inscrutable than the last, and I like it. I'm just going along for the ride. I'm not even trying to understand anymore. It's just funny to me how like slowly dark Twin Peaks got, because Twin Peaks, the original series, it has dark, like a lot of darkness in it, but a lot of lightheartedness in it too. And then fucking Firewalk with Me was like, here's the dark. And then like The Return so far has been like, oh yeah, you thought that was dark? Here's some real dark shit. I guess so far, Firewalk with Me was still darker. But we still got like 8 episodes of The Return to get through.
It's hard to classify what some of the scenes are. Dark or
just like just existential.
Yeah.
I mean, they're very disquieting.
Yeah.
Like, so I would definitely like put them firmly in the psychological horror category. A lot of the scenes, anyway, because they give you just a very, like how he was doing the frame skips and shit. Yeah. But he doesn't do it like, if that happened in another movie, it would be used so sparingly.
Yeah.
But he did it for like
5 minutes straight.
I don't know if it was 5 minutes, but it felt like it.
Yeah.
You know, like at least a 3-minute scene where it was like just, you couldn't hear anything other than the really oppressive like noise soundtrack.
Yeah.
And it was just people skipping forward a few frames and then skipping back a few frames, and you had to like try and infer what they were saying to each other or what they were trying to communicate. And like the only filmmaker that is given carte blanche to do that and is brave enough to do shit like that, that's audience expectation defying, is David Lynch. In the mainstream. I'm sure there are a lot of like avant-garde fucking movie makers that I don't know about and shit, but when we're talking about like mainstream bankable filmmakers, David Lynch is like one of the most fearless people. Because I can't even imagine that being part of any other series. We watched 30 Days of Night recently. That's a movie that is simultaneously pretty cool sometimes and really disappointing a lot of the time. There's a lot of like really just kind of inscrutable what the fuck moments. And I talked about this last night. I don't think you were out here. Horror movies will put those what the fuck moments, like when people make stupid decisions. They do that. A lot of people think, oh, that's bad writing. Maybe sometimes it is, but it's also usually very deliberate because it throws you into a sense of psychological discord when somebody on the screen isn't doing what you think they should do. It makes the horror intensify. What are you doing? Why would you? Right. And so horror movies throw that type of shit in for that reason. And I really feel like maybe 30 Days of Night was trying to do that, but didn't. It left.
A little too dumb.
Yeah, a little too dumb. You're right. You know what I really like about fucking 30 Days of Night? The head vampire guy.
Yeah.
I think it's one of my favorite modern vampire portrayals. And if you look at the lore behind it, I don't know if you were able to pick up on it because you started watching it after. Did you start watching it from the beginning with me? I think you did. So you remember the beginning shot where the dude that does all the sabotage in the town is looking out at that ship.
Yeah.
So that's where the vampires live. Mm-hmm. They live out in the Arctic Circle and shit. Yeah. And they wait, in stasis or whatever, where it's dark all the time, and and then when the darkness spreads to somewhere that's habitated or whatever, they come. So the guy, the head vampire actually talks about it in his weird vampire language, which I also like that too. I like that the vampires don't speak like Romanian or they speak some weird like, they did a good job at that. But he explains, like, we've waited too long. They think that we're just a bad dream,
I think they wanted to keep it a bad dream. That's why they wanted to burn it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's what he meant. Yeah.
I think the centuries thing was like, we should have found this place centuries ago or something.
Yeah. But then they tell that one of the human people says, like, the whole idea is they make it look like some kind of horrible accident, and then they're coming for these other towns that also experience the 30 Days of Night, and they harvest, a few people from them, and they feed, and then they go back into stasis on their ghost ship or whatever. It's kind of cool. It's a cool concept, like seafaring pirate fucking vampires that wait for the right moment to invade these places and just feed on everybody and maybe recruit a couple more sailors, And then there's a lot of implied mythology to them too. Like the guy that they send into the town to sabotage all the cell phone towers and this and that, he's not a vampire. He's like a ghoul or whatever, a familiar, yeah. So he's a guy that, like, is hoping that if he serves them, that they will make him a vampire. And,
he didn't cut the bill, apparently.
Apparently not. I guess it's probably because he got caught stupidly.
Yeah.
Like, he should have just, like, sabotaged and then went and hid somewhere.
Yeah. And have a stupid fight in a bar.
He walked into a fucking... he walked into like a bar / general store and started harassing the person in there and got arrested. So that's probably why they didn't take him. Too stupid. Vampires are cool if they're done well. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like leeway when it comes to vampires. And 30 Days of Night is a good example of that. Like... you can have, they don't just have to be the template vampire, you know what I mean? These vampires were way more feral.
Yeah, they weren't the sexy vampires.
No.
That you get a lot of
really just like disturbing vampires, like warped human beings, basically. And I really, once again, I can't remember his name is Danny something. Not Danny McBride. Maybe it is Danny McBride. Whoever it is, that guy that he plays the Axeman in fucking American Horror Story Coven too. I really like him in this movie. I remember the first time I saw this movie, I was like, man, that head vampire guy, he just has a look that's just so fucking like piercing, you know what I mean? And he did such a good job of being animalistic.
Yeah.
Like he
But
pants.
still, like, the most civilized out of them.
Yeah, he pants like an animal most of the time, and like he was very good in the character. Danny Huston. Okay, yeah. Danny McBride is that fucking fat guy that plays in Eastbound and Down and all that shit. Yeah, Danny Huston. Oh my god, bro. Yeah, so he's really good in the movie. I love the like little snatches of translation we get on some of the things that he says, but that most of the communication with the vampires is like this. It's, you know what I mean? Just go, you know, or, just real quick bursts of like sound they communicate like wolves or animals, you know what I mean? You can also tell they have like an alpha society as well, because when the Danny Huston character is killed, the other vampires are like, they're looking to the guy that killed him, like, are you gonna lead us? And when they find out he's not going to, they all scuttle away, you know.
It kind of reminds me of that zombie movie we watched too, that recent Zack Snyder one. They had like the bank robbery.
Oh yeah, zombie. What the fuck was that called? Fucking Zombie Wars or no? It was called City of the Dead or.
I hate names.
I do too. Well, you know, a good movie has a name that's, you know, one good thing about a good movie is picking a title that's really memorable and.
Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead.
Okay. But it reminded me of that little society of zombies they had.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean, they were basically the same kind of thing almost, you know. More vampire than zombie, really.
Yeah.
Because they maintained all their, but yeah, like a feral vampire more than a zombie. Yeah. Had like a little proto society and.
That's the thing, like he did a good job with that, but just the story that it was on top of was so convoluted.
I loved him as the villain and the vampires generally. There were some cheesy moments with the vampires too, but like I loved him as the villain and the vampires and the way that they're presented. Some of the scenes are generally creepy, like when they're using the woman as bait. They slash her up and tell her to go walk down the street. Yeah. You know, and they're all prowling their rooftops. This is really cool, effective stuff, but just the people that are in it just make. There's this love story baked into it that doesn't need to be there. You know, about fucking. Yeah, I guess the best clue we get about why they broke up, because it's a divorced couple that gets back together, separate or whatever. Yeah. The best clue we get about why they broke up is that he doesn't want children or some shit. Yeah. But that's it, and who cares? And then they make so many stupid fucking maneuvers in the movie too. Like the ending maneuver is ridiculous. Fucking Josh Hartnett injects himself with a dead dude's blood who is turning into a vampire to turn himself into a vampire so he can fight the vampires. Just like, and it's like 20 minutes before the sun comes up. Just like, hold up. They're about to fucking lose and you're about to win. The sun is coming. Why are you injecting yourself with vampire blood?
Yeah. I mean, the sense of time in that movie's really fucked up too. Like, I guess maybe it seemed like it was like right around the corner, but like the way that movie treats time, I guess it could have been 12 hours too.
Yeah. Then there's this whole plot point where it's like 15 minutes of plot is dedicated to him trying to get to this weed grow op that his grandma had so that he can use the ultraviolet lights against them. And he only does it once.
Yeah.
Like he only manages to nail one vampire with it, and then it's just kind of like never brought up again.
Yeah, it's like you think he would try to like reach out, but he just like he gets one and then he goes and hides again and they cut the power and then
Yeah, like he hits one of them with it. Like he could have stepped out and just like fucking killed like 5 or 6 of them with it.
Yeah.
But he just like stays ducked down and like and then they go kill the generator and it's useless and you just spent 15 minutes of the movie with them coming up with the idea, him sneaking to it and almost getting caught and having to battle a vampire on the way there and then getting there and then finding the fucking light and then hitting a vampire with it. It's at least 15 minutes of an hour and 30-minute movie on a plot point that goes nowhere. It literally goes nowhere. It does nothing. I guess all it proves is that they fear the sunlight, which
you would assume anyways because they're there for the 30 days of night. Like
right. That's the whole point. Like they didn't come until the fucking sun went away for a month.
yeah.
So the fact that they fear sunlight is pretty much baked into the premise. But we had a whole 15 minutes of the movie to walk us through that, like, yeah, ultraviolet light or whatever actually hurts them or burns them. We assumed that.
Yeah.
It's such a mediocre movie that had a really cool premise. And that's kind of the sad part about it, I guess.
Like you said, like they probably did like a bunch of endings and that's the one they landed on.
Yeah. A lot of times movies like this will do test endings, like 2 or 3 endings. They'll run them for test audiences and see which ones the audiences react more positively or negatively to. A really good example of this is Suicide Kings. It's a movie with Christopher Walken and a bunch of people in it. Pretty good flick, too. Had like 4 different endings that they shot. And they tested all of them and ended up going with the one in the theaters. But I've watched the alternate endings, and all of them are better. Like, all of them are more, like, wrap things up. There's actually an ending where he lets them go. Which seems like less fulfilling, but it's actually more fulfilling as an ending than the one that you get. They went with the cutaway ending, the implied execution ending.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of times movies will do that. They'll
I
shoot.
think they did that with Blade too.
Which one? The first one?
one.
Oh, you think they had 2 or 3?
I heard something like in the extra credits thing where they tried a bunch of different shit, and that's the one that ended up on the test audiences. And
It's pretty common.
That ending sucks.
Most endings suck, and this is just a good example of that. Like a lot of people don't realize that most endings are fucking really trash, and they think that like movie makers don't know it. They do. That's why they film 5 different endings and try and find one that is, passable to people, because they don't know how to do it right. And I really think that some of the best movies in the world are movies that have a vision all the way through the ending and know exactly where to end, and they do exist. The one that just leaps into my mind is The Witch. The Witch is a movie that knows how to fucking ramp up the tension, ramp up the revelation at the end, and end on a fucking high note, dude. It ends with Thomasin walking into the woods, finding this coven of witches, stripping her clothes off and floating into the air, becoming a witch. And then boom, cut, roll credits, no bullshit, no happily ever after, no like 10 days later with the fucking authorities coming and what happened at the Thomasin Ranch? Oh no, we shall never know. You know what I mean? That would be a lesser movie would have done that. 10 days later, some people find the Thomasin Ranch and find all the dead bodies and...
Yeah, I think movies need to find like a place to end and then stop. Like as soon as they do any jump in time, that's when shit starts getting fucky.
Right. It's all about having a vision all the way through the end and not caring what people think about it, and just knowing that it's the best way to end the film, because people are always going to bitch about the end. You're never going to please everybody with the way that you wrap something up. So you have a vision through it. That's what pleases me. That's what really pleases me.
Especially like giving people a choice between multiple endings.
It's so stupid. That just shows you don't have a vision through the end. That just shows that you made a movie that has a, an introductory period, rising action, peaking action, falling action, but you just didn't know how to finish out the roller coaster and bring it back in. And so you just kind of guessed at 5 different things. And that just shows me that from the beginning, the project didn't have a vision. How do you have an idea for a movie and think it through enough to write a screenplay and not know how it wraps up? Or a book, for that matter. Endings are extremely hard to pull off, but they're a huge part of the movie. You have to launch out of the movie right. You got to think about it like a roller coaster, man. A roller coaster has one last feature, and then the descending action of just rolling in, and then it's over. That's it. It doesn't take forever to get off the roller coaster. It doesn't take forever for the roller coaster around that last little bend and pull into the train station. It's over like that. One last corkscrew, one last loop-de-loop, and then you're into the train station and you're done. And so many movies want to belabor the ending and then here's what happened, and it's
Honestly, with like the last Lord of the Rings movie, they probably could have not filmed the last like 15 minutes.
probably. I mean, that's a big criticism that a lot of people have, is that it just doesn't feel like it knows when to end. And that's because there was so much more in that book that had to be cut. And so where do you trim Tolkien? Here? I don't know. So yeah, a lot of big giant, like my favorite movie of all time has an imperfect ending. It feels like it's ramping into what I would consider to be an absolutely perfect ending. But it does this like descending action scene that's just not needed. It's just people kissing people goodnight and everything, and it's just bullshit. Like Aliens is my favorite film. It should end as soon as Ripley flushes the alien queen out, crawls up, and is helped by Bishop to close the door. Maybe have a scene where Newt comes out of hiding and hugs her. Boom, credit. We did not need to see them cleaned up after a shower, getting ready to be tucked into bed. And then we didn't need Newt going, "Will I have dreams?" No, it's just, we didn't need all that. So even my favorite movie of all time didn't quite know when to cut. What do you think of the Thelma and Louise ending? I mean, at least they knew what it was leading up to. The ending of Thelma and Louise is the whole point of the film. Shawshank Redemption had a pretty good ending, yeah. I mean, there are definitely movies that do pretty well at the end. I think Forrest Gump ends pretty well. Like I think there was a vision all the way through, and it wraps up it wraps up basically where it starts. With his mother sending him off to fucking school for the first day or whatever, and then he's sending his kid off to school for the first day. The little feather ties it together again. He opens the book and the feather comes out, and it's whatever. That worked. So many movies just have this awkward shuffling, like
Fix it. You're done. Well, those are the most disappointing things because life never like ties itself up with a bow. There's no period in like a real person's life where everything's like.
Yeah, I know. And not only that, but it's just like there's no way to convey they lived happily ever after or whatever, There's just no way to convey it in cinema and in a pleasing way. It's just like,
Well, it's like unless the end of the movie is literally the end of the world, you're gonna have like a potential and then thing that needs to be nebulous.
yeah. God, I love the ending of Aliens, though. Well, not the ending, but the fucking last 15 or 20 minutes of that movie are just like nigh on perfect. Just perfect. So good. The callbacks, the fucking just rampaging out of control tension. Ugh, love it. Dude, there was that scene, remember, in Army of the Dead that completely ripped off the ending of Alien.
Yeah.
Completely ripped off the ending of Alien, where Tig Notaro was playing the helicopter pilot, and they're like, "Don't you fucking leave us. We're going back in. We're gonna save them. We're gonna get the stuff. Don't you fucking leave us." She's like, "I won't. They fucking go in, they barely escape, and they come out, and they see that the rooftop is empty, and they're like, "No, you son of a bitch." It's the same fucking thing. Like, "Bishop, you bastard, no." And then she comes back, "Dun, dun, here I am," and they barely escape. It's like,
And the zombie hops on.
it's the whole nine, dude. Yeah, zombie hops on. So, like, it's like the fucking... I think that, like, if you asked Zack Snyder about it, he would be like, "Oh, it's an homage to Aliens." And it's like, no. It's a ripoff. It's a ripoff of the descending action of Aliens, you fucking asshole.
It's like there were so many like things that were cool in that movie, but they were just sandwiched between shit that was derivative as fuck. And
Just a forgettable movie. For all its flash and fucking shit, it's really forgettable. Like, I have a really hard time remembering much about it. And that's not a good sign. Like, a good movie just, like, sticks in your craw, you know what I mean? Oh, man, the squirrel. It's a squirrel crawling down that tree there. It's probably like, "What the fuck, crows? Get out of here."
yeah, we kind of forced ourselves to finish that movie. We probably wouldn't have other circumstances.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I think it carried the water of being interesting enough to, like, it wasn't like total pain to finish it, but it was just an annoying movie.
Like there was a wall in like the beginning, but like TJ said he'd stopped watching the whole like I'm in.
There is a lot of that, yeah. And then the movie got better for a while. It got interesting once like the whole zombie society shit came into play, and then it got really uninteresting again. So whatever. Not the best arc for a film, but it's at least watchable. There have been so many movies that we've just ejected out of.
Yeah.
Movie also stole from I Am Legend, kind of, yeah, with the whole like zombie society thing. Yeah. It also stole from like the fuck is that? The fucking third Evil Dead movie. Army of the Dead?
No, Army of the Dead is the movie we're talking about.
Did they rip off the title of it too? What is the third Evil Dead movie called? Army of Darkness. Thank you. Okay, yeah. But it definitely rips that off too. The Deadites are like a society.
Yeah, and then wasn't another thing we ripped off from Aliens the whole like, oh, we're going in for a sample. That's the real reason.
Oh yeah, we're going in for a sample, but then you find out it's like we're going in to capture one of these things so we can study it and make a bioweapon out of it.
Yeah.
So it's the same shit. It's Burke from fucking Aliens. It's just like, there's no homage here. It's just a rip-off of Aliens.
Yeah. If you want a homage to Aliens, look at Dreamcatcher.
Yeah. Yeah, like they call the alien virus the Ripley or whatever. That's an homage. You know, there's like one line in there. They say, you know, it's called the Ripley, you know, from that bitch from the Alien movies. And that's it. You know, that's an homage to Alien and Aliens. Yeah, he graciously borrowed like 3 or 4 plot points from fucking. He's going after a squirrel, don't worry. Let him do it. Let him squirrel chase. He ain't gonna catch no squirrel. As long as he ain't chasing the fox, I really don't care. Did you get him? No, didn't think so. Is that fun? Did you spookle that squirrel, buddy?
He spooked it. Oh yeah, that squirrel's terrified me.
I bet you got within like 25 feet of him before he was well outside of anything you could do to get him. Oh yeah, Dynor's. It's funny because Dynor is a mix of like domesticated dog and working dog. So there are a lot of dogs that really over time have had a lot of that instinct bred out of them. They have a little bit of it. But Dynor's got like a mix. He's got, you know, domesticated dog and the Shih Tzu, which are mousers. So they have like mouse chasing instincts and digging instincts, searching and sniffing instincts. But he's got that fucking hound. And he wants to tree an animal, dude. He likes to tree a fucking animal. That's what hounds do.
Yeah, but yeah, he has this chase, but then he has this like mental block. It's like once he's reached whatever he's chasing, he stops.
Well, that's because of the hound.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's what hounds do. Hounds chase things until they get up a tree, and then they stand there and bark.
Yeah.
And they've done their duty. They have that instinct.
So they're not supposed to go for the kill.
Not necessarily. I mean, yeah, like hounds like tree bears and stuff. Like, so people that hunt bears, they'll have their hounds go out. The hounds will harry the bear until it climbs a tree, and then they will surround it and just bay at it until the hunter comes to kill the bear.
That's why he's so loud.
Or raccoons are hunted in the same way. So people that do raccoon hunting for fur or whatever, they release their hounds. The hounds will sniff and find raccoons, chase them up a tree, and then sit there and bay a certain way until the hunter finds them and kills the raccoon out of the tree. Doesn't seem like a very fair way to hunt.
Yeah.
But he's got a little bit of that in him. 25% or so. Hound group. So he's got all the instinct to chase, none of the instinct to attack or defend or any of that. He's just got the little chasey and the alertness.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Dynor can't really... Oh, there's another squirrel. He just saw it. Oh, man, they're all over the place. There's 3 or 4 of them. You gonna go get another one?
No.
Dude, I saw this fucking video the other day of this dude in Vermont who owns like a piece of property that includes a stand of woods, catching these hunters hunting a bear on it. And he was like, I want you motherfuckers off my land. You don't have my permission to hunt anything here. The hunter was like, well, we dropped our dogs in a cornfield 8 miles from here and it chased the bear. And he's like, I don't care. He's like, well, can we go get our dogs? He's like, yep, but I'm coming with you because you're not killing that bear. And so he went and fucking walked with these guys until they found their dogs and made him fucking take the dogs off of it. And the hunter asked him, look, can I just take this? He's like, no, you do not have permission to hunt on my fucking land. Get your dogs out of here. Get your shit out of here. It's just like, so I saw that bear was just like exhausted and terrified and just in the tree. You know what I mean? Fucking horrible.
My mom's dog had that like pointer thing, where like if she saw something, she'd like put her little leg up.
Yeah.
She was a digging dog too. She would just fucking tear ass into the ground if there was a mole or something.
Yep. Yeah, Cocker Spaniels are water dogs. They're retrievers. So that's why he likes to play fetch so much.
Yeah.
He's got the retriever instinct. Who the fuck knows, bro?
Did you ever have a dog that was a digger?
Yes. I've had a couple of dogs that would get into some digging shenanigans. Yoshi and Koopa were diggers. Koopa was the digger, and the Yoshi was the fucking, all right, let's go through the hole.
Yeah.
So there was a number of times where they would dig under our fence, and I'd have to go to some poor old lady that lived behind us,
Yeah.
knock on her door, and be like, I'm sorry, my
That's
dog's...
what my mom's dog would do. She like dug under the fence a few times.
Yep. Yeah. Koopa, like, it was crazy. Yoshi was the alpha indoors,
Yeah.
and Koopa was the alpha outdoors. So Koopa, because he was bigger, and I think Yoshi knew that, like, all right, he's
Outside you want.
right, and he was fucking desperate to just get out.
Yeah.
Like, and our fence, we were constantly shoring it up and refilling holes that he was starting to dig and shit because he was just all into it. And that's how he eventually passed away, unfortunately, is after I left. But he got out of the fence on a stormy night and got hit by a car. So.
Yeah, that's unfortunate with dogs that are that determined. Like, 'cause my mom had like a good fence, like it was a brand new one that was deep and everything. She still just.
Oh yeah, they'll go under it. There's no way you can keep a determined dog that has the equipment to dig. And Koopa was a big, he wasn't big, but he was strong.
Yeah.
He was really stocky built, fast.
You had the alternative, like fucking Scotty and Taylor's dog, like just go oink.
Yeah, that's the other end of the fence problem. Jean-Luc can just fucking jump a fence. Should look up the 2020 derecho in Iowa. It's basically an inland hurricane. Hit 150 miles an hour, like 6 miles from my house. It was around 120 most places it hit. It went from South Dakota to Idaho. Yeah. Great. Inland hurricanes. Just what we need, bro. Let's get with it. Make every place just a death zone with giant storms and tornadoes and tidal waves and shit.
We're looking at a place that we think is safe, but it's hard to know for sure.
Safe-ish.
Yeah.
I mean, the polar vortex, not safe from that.
Like, I know, like, even Alaska got that heat dome shit where they had, like, this past July, like, 90 plus degree weather.
Yeah. Dude, just send me to the moon. I want to go to the moon. Fly me to the moon.
What are you guys doing?
Dude, they're having an argument up there, bro. And somebody just dressed somebody down. That was like 20 calls in a row, and he's still going. They're having it out up there.
They're deciding who gets the squirrel.
Yeah.
I think.
They can't get no squirrel, can they? Crows ain't gonna hunt no squirrel, can they?
Maybe.
Crows are looking for like other birds sometimes and insects and shit. Crow is yelling at the chat. Maybe so. I've only ever seen crows eating the bugs out of carrion. I don't know what they're doing then, dude. I know very little about crows. There's probably bugs up in those trees, I would imagine, that they can eat. Because they're back and forth off of this tree a lot. Off of these trees, I mean. Yeah, I'm pretty sure TJ and Scotty are at least on their way back to their homes today. No woodpeckers, no. At least I haven't heard a woodpecker. Yeah, we have mourning doves as well. They've been gone for a while, but yeah, we. If you go back and listen to these Highdeologies, you can hear some mourning doves. What's going on in the world today? I actually don't want to know. Don't tell me. I am in my tune-out break. Yep. I imbibe in the news in the days wrapped around Wednesday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Those are the days that I imbibe in the news. Every other day, I give a fuck what's going on. So if the world doesn't end on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, I won't hear about it. Yeah, don't blame me, meds. Why Thursday? Because there's like a descending action thing to it. There's like an arc to when I care to indulge in the news. And it's usually like the day before I want to see what I'm looking at for the week. And on Wednesday, of course, we spend, 2 hours plus doing a live stream covering all the news from the week. And then on Thursday, there's a little residual interest that kind of peters out over the course of the day, where I still look at the news a little bit. And then by Friday, I don't give a fuck. Blah. I'm out of here.